Right now, parked in your driveway, your brake discs are quietly destroying themselves. That grinding, pulsing, shuddering feeling when you press the brake pedal, the one your mechanic told you means you need a full brake disc replacement, is not what they are telling you it is. Garages across the United States and United Kingdom are charging between $300 and $500 to replace brake discs that do not need replacing. And the fix, the real fix, costs $3. $3. It sits on the shelf of every auto parts store in the country. And the automotive service industry has spent decades making sure you never find out about it. The villain here is not your local mechanic as an individual. It is the system they operate inside. A multi-billion-dollar automotive service industry built on one foundational assumption, that you do not know what they know. Every year, American and British drivers collectively spend over $4 billion on brake disc replacements. A significant portion of those replacements are for a condition called brake disc scoring, visible grooves, ridges, and surface damage cut into the face of the disc by worn brake pads or road debris. Mechanics hold the disc up, point to the grooves, and tell you the disc is dangerously compromised. What they do not tell you is that light to moderate scoring, the kind that causes exactly the symptoms you are experiencing, is a surface condition. It lives in the top layer of the disc, and surface conditions have surface solutions. You have been robbed. Systematically, repeatedly, and deliberately kept in the dark, but that changes today. By the end of this, you will know exactly what brake disc scoring is, why the $3 solution works on a chemical and mechanical level, and how to apply it yourself in under an hour with no specialist tools. You will also know the exact threshold that separates fixable scoring from genuinely dangerous disc damage, because that distinction is real, and you need to understand it. And I will show you the one mistake that makes this entire method fail, a mistake that almost everyone makes the first time. Stay with me, because that detail alone will determine whether this works for you or not. The story of this solution does not begin in a garage. It begins in the aerospace and precision manufacturing industries of the 1960s and 1970s. Engineers working on high-tolerance metal components, turbine housings, hydraulic brake assemblies in aircraft, industrial press machinery, were dealing with a problem identical in nature to brake disc scoring. Ferrous metal surfaces that developed grooves, oxidation layering, and microscopic stress ridges under repeated friction and heat cycling. Replacing these components was extraordinarily expensive, so metallurgical chemists began developing compounds capable of chemically abrading and then reconditioning metal surfaces at a molecular level, removing damaged material uniformly without undercutting the structural integrity of the component beneath. These compounds worked. They worked so reliably that by the late 1970s, they were standard protocol in aviation maintenance and industrial manufacturing. The formulation was not secret. The chemistry was published. And it was only a matter of time before automotive engineers recognized that the same principle applied to brake discs. And here is where it gets interesting. By the early 1980s, several automotive engineers and independent mechanics had begun experimenting with adapted versions of these industrial compounds on passenger vehicle brake discs. The results were documented. The method spread quietly through professional mechanic networks. And then, largely, it disappeared from public conversation, not because it stopped working, because the automotive service industry recognized the financial threat it represented. A method that costs $3 and takes an hour does not generate the revenue that a $400 disc replacement does. The knowledge did not vanish. It was simply never promoted. It lived in specialist forums, in old mechanics manuals, in the institutional memory of independent garages who chose customer loyalty over profit margin. For decades, it stayed buried. Until now. What I am about to show you is the part the industry spent decades making sure you would never find out. Not because it is complicated, because it is so simple and so cheap that it makes the standard repair look like exactly what it is, an unnecessary upsell built on your ignorance. The solution is a ferrous metal conditioning compound, specifically a product containing a combination of phosphoric acid and fine abrasive suspension. The most widely available version of this in American and British auto parts stores is sold under names like Metal Rescue, Evapo-Rust, or in its most direct form, a dedicated brake disc resurfacing fluid. Some mechanics use a specific formulation of phosphoric acid-based rust converter combined with ultrafine wet and dry abrasive. Here is why it works, and this is worth understanding, because it removes any doubt. Brake disc scoring creates grooves, physical channels cut into the disc surface. But around those grooves, the metal surface also develops a layer of oxidized, work-hardened material. Essentially, the metal has been stressed and chemically altered by heat and friction. The phosphoric acid in the compound does two things simultaneously. First, it chemically converts the oxidized surface layer, breaking it down into a water-soluble compound that wipes away cleanly. Second, when used with the correct abrasive medium, it allows controlled, uniform removal of the high points, the ridges on either side of a score groove, bringing the surface back toward a consistent, flat plane. The disc is not magically rebuilt. What happens is the scoring is reduced to a depth and profile that no longer creates the vibration, pulsing, or noise you have been experiencing. Stay with me, because the next part changes everything. And this is where the method either works perfectly or fails entirely based on one decision you make before you even open the bottle. If you have found this information valuable, you are not alone. Thousands of drivers are quietly discovering what the industry hoped you never would. This channel exists for exactly that reason. Now, step by step, here is exactly how to do this. Step 1. Before you buy anything, you need to assess your discs. Get the vehicle on a flat surface, engage the handbrake, and remove the wheel. Look at the disc face directly. You are checking for 2 things. First, visible scoring. Grooves running in a circular pattern across the disc face. Second, disc thickness. Every brake disc has a minimum thickness specification stamped or cast into the disc hub. Find it. Then measure the thinnest point of the disc with a vernier caliper. If the disc is already at or below minimum thickness, this method cannot help you and replacement is genuinely necessary. If the disc is above minimum thickness and the scoring is no deeper than approximately 1 millimeter, you are in the right territory. Step 2. Purchase your compound. At any AutoZone, O'Reilly, Halfords, or equivalent auto parts supplier, ask for a phosphoric acid-based metal conditioner, or look for a Vapo Rust, Metal Rescue, or a purpose-labeled brake disc conditioning fluid. You will spend between $2 and $4. Also purchase a sheet of 400 grit wet and dry sandpaper and a sheet of 600 grit. Step 3. Clean the disc surface completely. Use brake cleaner spray, widely available, roughly $3, and wipe the disc down with a clean, lint-free cloth. Remove all brake dust, grease, and road contamination. This step is non-negotiable. Here's the mistake that causes this method to fail. People skip the cleaning phase or do it incompletely. Any contamination on the disc's surface acts as a barrier, and the compound cannot make uniform contact with the metal. The result is patchy conditioning that actually makes the surface worse. Do not skip this. Step 4. Apply the compound to the disc surface and work it in with the 400 grit wet and dry in a circular motion, following the natural arc of the disc. You are not sanding aggressively. You are using the compound as a medium and the abrasive to distribute it uniformly. Work the full disc face for approximately 5 minutes. Step 5. Wipe clean with brake cleaner again, then repeat the process with the 600 grit sheet for a further 3 minutes. This finer pass smooths the surface and removes any abrasive residue. Step 6. Final clean with brake cleaner, refit the wheel, and perform 3 to 5 low-speed brake applications from approximately 20 miles per hour before driving normally. This beds the cleaned surface against your brake pads. Before wrapping up, there is one more thing about this solution that almost nobody talks about, and it is the reason this method is not just a repair, it is a form of preventive maintenance. The phosphoric acid compound does not just clean the surface. It leaves behind a thin phosphate conversion layer on the metal. This layer is mildly corrosion resistant. In practical terms, it means that in the weeks following this treatment, your discs are actually less susceptible to the surface oxidation that accelerates scoring in the first place. If you live in a wet climate or a region where road salt is used in winter, this is significant. Drivers who use this method regularly, once every 12 to 18 months as a preventive measure rather than a cure, report dramatically slower scoring recurrence compared to discs that have simply been left untreated between pad changes. Most people stop here. The smart ones do not. Now consider the comparison. The standard garage approach, you report brake pulsing and noise. The mechanic inspects the discs, confirms scoring, and recommends replacement. Front disc replacement, parts, and labor runs between $250 and $400 at an independent garage and up to $500 at a dealership. The discs being replaced are, in the majority of light to moderate scoring cases, structurally sound components above their minimum thickness specification. They are being discarded because the surface is damaged. The same surface that a $3 compound in 40 minutes of your time can restore. The before and after reality for drivers who have applied this method is consistent. The brake pulsing, and that rhythmic thudding through the pedal under braking, disappears within the first few drives as the surface beds evenly against the pads. The grinding noise, caused by the pad edge catching the ridge of a score groove, stops. Braking distances return to normal, and the discs last. Not indefinitely. Nothing does. But drivers who have applied this method to moderately scored discs report another 18 months to 2 years of normal braking performance before any further attention is needed. Compare that to the $400 replacement that a garage would have completed in 40 minutes and billed you for with total confidence that you would never question it. The numbers are not close, the method is not complicated. What was missing was the information, and now you have it. What you have learned today is not a workaround. It is the correct response to a surface-level problem that an entire industry chose to treat as a structural one because structural replacements generate structural revenue. Your brake discs, in most scored conditions, are not finished. They are dirty, grooved, and oxidized on their surface, and surfaces can be reconditioned. But here is what makes this more significant than it might appear. Brake disc scoring does not happen in isolation. It is a symptom of a broader brake system condition, and that condition involves your brake pads, your calipers, and the way heat is cycling through your entire braking assembly. The scoring you fix today is the visible part. There is an invisible part, one that garages also routinely misdiagnose and overcharge for, and it is connected to the same heat and friction dynamics that caused your scoring in the first place. That is the next part of this story, and what the industry charges for that diagnosis versus what it actually costs to address it yourself will make today's $400 saving look modest by comparison. The question is not whether it is happening to your vehicle. The question is whether you will know what to look for before your next service appointment or after.